Welcome back to Backroomconvos. I'm your host, Lesego M, Daddy Pod, aka Shoot Your Shot, and maybe you might get a chance to call me Daddy like Cairo. Listen, if you are a fan of sports, stay tuned because you might like what we're cooking. On today's episode, we have a lot to speak on. Can I sneeze? Yes? No? Yeah. I'm sorry for that. I had to do it. I had to sneeze. Yeah. Oh, we have a lot to talk about. As I mentioned, we are going to talk on what has been happening around the Diddy and Cassie lawsuit. Talk about that. We are going to talk about Makati's boyfriend dating Babanlo, who's 16 years old, right? Zonzo. I think his name is Zonzo. And we are going to touch on English is escaping me. Touch on Mom Esther, the car that he did. I think it was 35 years ago, 1990 something. 1990 something. The car that he did for BMW. It's back in Mzansi. That's one of her classics, iconic. They say it's an iconic Mom Esther. I'll make sure of the age. So it's after 32 years, Mom Esther's iconic BMW will be returning to SA. And fun fact for people who didn't know, I'll just share the fun fact with you later on in the show. But how are you doing today? How's the day? I think on my side it's very, very hot. Very, 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 very hot. Before we get anywhere what's going on? I keep on missing what I'm supposed to be saying, but it's all good, man. I think, a lot of it has been happening, but let's open it up. The song of the day is by Stunna. It's by Stunna featuring Deepa Feel, Mfundo the DJ. I thought Kabza was also on the song. I'm just surprised that I'm not seeing Kabza, but yeah, it is what it is. So it's Stunna featuring Deepa Feel and Mfundo the DJ. The name of the song is Unonkosi, but in Penny Salos, of course. So I really like it. I've been bumping the joint, throughout this week, and I've been going through the most, and this song was one of those spirit lifters, So yeah, Stunna, Unonkosi, and Penny Salos, of course. I think Stunna, man, I've also spoken about this on the channel as well. Stunna is one of the few people that I can listen to his songs and feel like, I feel like I need a road trip. I feel like, I could be with someone, friends, or relationship, but then it is what it is. To be in that space, you know what I mean? With the Nangatula joint. Those like road trip, feel type song. I don't know if you get me, but those songs to me actually mean a lot to me, So yeah, on my side is 4:18 p.m. The date is 22nd November 2023 on my side. So yeah, speaking on Young Stunna and Deepa Feel, Mfundo the DJ, the song is amazing. On Spotify, it's sitting on 1,678,000 on Spotify. So it goes to show it's doing well. Young Stunna is doing well as well. And I'll see it on the socials. Young Stunna it was currently doing his learning his learners. He was doing his learners, so learning how to drive. He was learning how to drive, and I saw him in a VW doing his thing there. And before we get on anywhere, I want us to talk again. I saw another post by Stunna where he was with her mom. Is that even a thing? He was with her mom, and they were celebrating something. I don't know what's the story behind that, but Stunna, people felt like Stunna was touching her mom inappropriately in the because I saw one comment was saying Stunna is touching her mom like he's her mom's boyfriend. I don't know if that makes any sense. He's her mom's boyfriend. That's what they were saying. That's what the comments were saying, who think their mom's their boyfriend, I think, I don't blame young Stunna. I mean, if you're raised by a single parent, I'm sure you would understand the love young Stunna has for his mom, and it's no limit, it's unconditional, it's pure, and I don't see a problem with that. I just have a problem with people who think that is wrong, but they don't know the behind the story, the story and the bond that they have, because you go through a lot in life, and sometimes your mom is all you have. I think with Stunna it might also be the case, and it created an amazing bond where they can be themselves without doing it for the media. I think I really love it. I feel like it's pure, and I think young Stunna's mom be in a relationship, there can be a room for discussion to say, babe, I don't really like how your kid is, our son is holding you, I think there can be rules that are set now, if young Stunna's mom decides to have a boyfriend, or if he has a boyfriend. So I think if he's uncomfortable with it, they need to discuss it. But if he's fine, Tina's getting up, so I think that's one of those things that I feel like, people need to mind their own business, and people need to start doing them and stay out, And here I am saying all this, and I'm in young Stunna's business. Going back to, I went off topic, by the way. I went off topic, but I just wanted to give people the backstory, the license thing with young Stunna and the music. I think he's an amazing musician. And again, addressing the rumor issues, guys, those rumors are not true. Because, again, it seems like I'm a young Stunna fan, and I guess I am, but I've been fed a lot of young Stunna's content. TikTok and Instagram has been doing me dirty, because here I am talking about young Stunna, and he's not even a part of the prep for the day, but I've been gushing about him for the past 7 minutes, you know what I mean? But he's a good dude, from what I see, he's a good dude. So he's worthy of the flowers that we're giving him. And people were saying, see, there was a picture that was trending. I want us to talk a bit about the picture that was trending of young Stunna. So the picture was trending, showing young Stunna on top of somebody, I think in a position he was riding that guy. So people were saying young Stunna is gay, and he's been facing a lot of things. At some point they were saying he has I don't remember I don't remember the word to do. He has trisomy. If you know what trisomy is, you'd know what I want to say. You'd know what you should see. Trisomy, you'd get it. If I know I'm not making sense at the moment, but you'd get it. There's a lot of those comments that were going on, and he's been facing hands with those. And I think now he's just comfortable. He's just making him. He's doing him. He doesn't care what people say about him. And of which I think for me, that's what's important, to find a balance within the madness. To always know and keep grounded, regardless of what the external forces are saying about you. And I think young Stunna, I see, and I think he's one of the few individuals who were able to carry that, with him. And it's beautiful to see, man. It's very beautiful to see. And shout out to everybody. I know there's been a lot with even the Eastern Cape saga that came out. I don't want to touch on that. I don't really have facts around that, but I do know for sure that people were saying that, and they were like, oh, young Stunna is a superstar now, boom boom. And I'm like, well, I don't really have facts, but at the end of the day, and there were people who were saying, young Stunna worked his ass off to be where he is, and if he doesn't want to be in a section or he wants to be lifted, he deserves that, because he's worked his way up to that point where he can ask the bodyguards to lift him up. I don't care what people say. If the bodyguard agreed to it, meaning those are the tips, you know what I mean? So yeah, just wanted to talk about that as well. Yeah, spoken about young Stunna for the past 10 minutes now. Surprisingly. Surprise. For the past 10 minutes now. But, I think he deserves it. And we are going to touch for sure on the Diddy thing and the Diddy saga. I think we have to touch on the Diddy thing. But because we have to go onto an ad break, I think let's just take smaller time and talk about that slap fight, guys. Like personally, like that's one of those sports where I'm like, ooh, but am I enjoying it? But I keep on watching, you understand? I'm like, where's the, but there's people who are enjoying the sports because on TikTok it's trending. And I've seen it trending a lot on TikTok, not in any other place but TikTok, where people slap one another. For people who don't know, the slap fight competition. So you'd find the way arm wrestling works, you'd find there's one thingy on the middle, and you guys, you use one hand to hold the table, and you use the other hand to slap the other person, and they do likewise until someone of the two passes out, or someone between the two taps out and say, I'm out. So I've noticed something as I was watching the video today. One had a towel, no, I'm still on. He was raising that towel. I'm not sure if it's one of the rules that were implemented to say, I'm still carrying on. That's why they raised the towel. I don't know. I haven't got into like the details, the rules, and because I don't think I'm interested to the point where I can research. I'm a fan of that sports, where to a point where I research. When you're a fan of something, you tend to like look at the details, the rules and regulations around it. Same applies to how people who watch soccer know about or the handball, the position of the end. It's because you're a fan of that sport, so you tend to know all these little details about that particular sport, right? So yeah, that's what I'm saying to you, I'm not interested. I just wanted to like highlight it, and for people who are punters, do you think, is it about time that Betway starts aiding that? And and shout out to this abnormal, because people who are betting with him, he has like group where he's betting for people, or he's giving them codes, and some people are complaining, but there's not much noise, because sometimes I feel like maybe it's haters, you understand, but there's always that nyana sound. But people love this abnormal. I don't know if the codes are fake, I don't know if they're true, if the packages that he offers are legit, I don't know. But shout out to him. And to answer to put the question out there, I did ask Uguti, do you think Betway should add the slap competition as part of the games they do have in the app, where you can bet to say, oh, there's a whole win against Cassie, or there's a whole win against Trevor Noah or Joe Rogan or G. Do you think they should add that? So yeah, do let me know in the comment section. I am your host, Lesego M, aka Shoot Your Shot, and maybe you might get a chance to call me Daddy, like Cairo. Yeah, man, life is good. Yeah, I touched on that. I just think you guys need to let me know in the comment section what you think. And I want us, when we come back after the break, because I see the time is almost close to quarter to going to the break. I think time is close to quarter to going to the break. I think you do let me know, Guti, what you think about this slap fight. And I wanted to touch on the Lorch thingy, Thembinkosi Lorch. I think I want us to talk about it when we come back after the break. Stay tuned. I'm your host, Lesego M, aka Shoot Your Shot, and maybe you might get a chance to call me Daddy, like Cairo. Listen, let's meet after the break. Cheers. Welcome back to Backroomconvos. I'm your host, Lesego M, Daddy Pod, aka Shoot Your Shot, and maybe you might get a chance to call me Daddy. Like, I would listen. If you are a fan of pod, stay tuned because you might like what we're cooking. Today's song of the day is by Stunna called. The song is called Thembinkosi, featuring Deepa Feel and Umdu the DJ. Is it Umdu the DJ? I don't know if it goes by Umdu the DJ or Mfundo the DJ. I think it's Mfundo the DJ. So currently the song is sitting at 1.6 million on Spotify, doing good. I think it's an amazing song. I've been speaking about Young Stunna for the past 11-12 minutes that we came back from. How are you? Are you good? Let me know in the comment section, man. I just want to see this in passing. I know it's not up the prep for the day, but I did. Trevor was having it. Okay, and we were talking around the matter of billionaires saying, money isn't happiness, and he was giving his opinion why, and giving us the reasons why he was inviting bad guys to the show. And for the people who haven't watched it, I think you should go and watch it. I didn't even get a chance. I don't think I'd ever watch Trevor Noah's show. I don't know why, or currently I haven't been watching a lot of podcasts. I think I have been a lot, I've been busy, and I think when I get time I will for sure do that and listen to the podcast. And because now I'm trying as much to balance private life, business, and everything else that is happening around me. And currently I did say I'm watching a show called Suits. I'm very much enjoying that. I'm still binging a lot of it. I haven't been watching it currently for the past 3 days. I've been hectic. So, but other than that, I just hope that I finish that. It's a very interesting show. I did say my favorite character, it's Harvey Specter. I did say I even enjoy Billions as well. Yeah. Going back to the Trevor Noah thing, I think Trevor has worked a lot on his craft, man. And sometimes I think I feel like I don't have any, or I don't envy him looking at what he's done with the Daily Show. And I'm like, oh, he has influence for sure, but I admire the guy for how smart he is. And I'm in a position where I feel like I have more shows on podcasting than him. And if there's anything, I feel like, you tend to think, sometimes I feel like I look at what he does on his show and I'm like, I don't really have the Trevor Noah budget, because I know for sure he's been given 60 million to have that Spotify podcast. He does have a deal with Spotify, so they do push him for sure to do numbers and promotions and everything. They do that for him. And who wouldn't want to do that for Trevor? And I know also Joe Rogan has a deal with Spotify, and he keeps some of the money that he makes from the ads as well. I think they are paying Joe Rogan something like $200 million. It's a lot. It's not Trevor, but also you have to understand, Joe Rogan is also the veterans. He's been doing it for the longest of time. He's been doing it for the longest of time. I've never really dived into the Joe Rogan story and followed up, because I was never going into podcasting thinking of what I want to do better than Joe Rogan. I just wanted to do the best that I could and just bring myself to it and and connect with people who think or see me the way I do, and have those conversations that I find interesting, they find interesting, and have those conversations and see if there's problems to solve. Let's talk around it. And I think that's why I've never really went to Joe Rogan to look at some of the things he does in production, because even with the production as well, I should say the production level is not like Steve, because Steve's production is top notch. The cameras, the movement, the everything, the details. He's a lover of detail. Not saying that Joe Rogan isn't. Steve is a lover of detail. That's why even when I'm thinking about the visuals of the video podcast, I'm sorry to put it out there, but I also would like to pay attention to detail, the feel of the place. Does it, connect with what we are talking about, Yeah, I think it's very much important, and I've been learning that and the feel of the mood. How do you control the mood using the theme of, the setting of where you are? I think I'm more of that artist in my mind, you know what I mean? And even with the podcasting, and looking at Steve is like someone I feel like Obuti I connect with, because how he does his podcast and what I've seen, and I'm like, oh, this I can learn a lot from Steve, A, B, and C, So yeah, that's the story. And talking about stories, the documentary, I don't know if it's a documentary about Tyler Perry. It came out. I did see the ads. So for those of you who are going to watch it, please do let us know how that is like. The title of those who watch this movie using Twitter and are against those people, but it is what it is. So the title of the documentary is The Untold Story of Tyler Perry. Maxine's Baby. I think it's a 10-year-old documentary about the journey of Tyler Perry. I'm a true fan of Tyler Perry for sure. Like I am a fan of Tyler Perry, and anything by him, and I think it's a masterpiece. And Tyler Perry is so great, bro. Like the studio that he built in Atlanta, man. I did hear it's bigger than the Universal Studios, if I'm not mistaken. Is it Universal? Oh, it's the Warner Bros. Studios. It's bigger than the Warner Bros. Studios, and it's owned by a black person, Tyler Perry. That man is great, man, and he's been doing like fantastic work as far as like production. And I'm like, oh, this guy is an artist. And he has so much to offer, so much wisdom. He's a good storyteller. And him speaking from interviews and seeing his work, you see, Uguti, it aligns with the person that Tyler is. I don't know if there's writers. I think there is writers behind the work, some of the work that they do in those studios like Tyler Perry. I think they are writers, but I think obviously he has to be the overseer and try and give the Tyler Perry House of Madea feel, and you can never get that outside of Tyler Perry, and you can only get the feel if you've watched it again, if you've watched and you were a lover of that. I think you can be a best writer if you understand the concept, you fell in love. It's easier for you as a writer to know what to say, what Tyler would say, So I think I also am interested in watching that. I don't really know where I'm going to watch it, and yeah, I'm for sure going to give a review of the show, Tyler Perry's show. I am going to give a review of that, so stay tuned for that. So I want us to touch on the Lorch case. Is it the Lorch? Can we start with the Lorch case or the Diddy case? So yeah, let's talk about Diddy's case. So Diddy was being sued $30 million by his ex Cassandra Vandara on Friday last week. He was being sued for $30 million. So these are the claims. The vocalist filed a lawsuit against Diddy for claims of that Diddy was a serial physical abuser and sexual slavery and rape, according to lawyers of Vandara. Cassie, I think you guys might know her as Cassie. And I was listening to a story by one of Wale's fans or producers on TikTok. There was a snippet. They were saying, Guti, there was a moment where, they are agreeing Diddy is, was abusive, because there was a time where they were in studio. Cassie was in studio with Wale, the producers as well. The two producers were the ones speaking on the matter. Guti, Diddy came through while Wale and Cassie were in studio. They were recording, and Diddy's bodyguards took him over the balcony. Like they literally held him by his legs, and they turned him upside down from the balcony. Like they turned him upside down in the balcony, and like basically threatening Wale. And I've never seen Wale. Wale is not big, on internet. He hasn't spoken about this, and I hope for him to never spoke on. Like Diddy, he has like a shady character, Nyana. He's shady, man. A lot of these things are coming out about Diddy, him being gay, and I don't have anything against Diddy. I think at some point in my career, I felt like when it came to saying, he was like my spirit animal. Earlier on, he's like, Jimmy, what can't you do? So I really appreciate Diddy for that. And, you know, in hindsight, I think there's people who would always see Diddy as the great individual, and there'll always be those people who say, but Diddy did this bad, and Diddy's the one who set up Biggie and Park, and, you know, there'll always be that. But until that can be proven or will be proven, like, we can't really say much around it, you know. So I really appreciate him for also. People are saying a lot of things about this man. There was a claim again that Diddy was giving out the masters of the older artists, you know, what you thought were signed to Diddy's label, which is Bad Boy Entertainment. They were signed to Diddy, and Bad Boy and Biggie's records also, they were being given back to the original owners, which is what you call Christopher, which is Biggie, the notorious P.I.G. His name is Christopher. Rest in peace to him. He was giving those masters back, and I think because he passed on, I think maybe the foundation or the trust that those masters will go under it. And people were saying, but no, he's taking them back because he won't make money out of it, or they're not profitable. They were saying a lot of, I'm like, masters are still masters. You can get a show 10 years from now, and they offer you a sync deal, and you're up again. You understand? So, like, the claims, there's just a lot that's happening around Diddy, and, you know, the lawsuit, him settling it, like, the lawsuit, by the way, it was settled out of court. Diddy did pay, and, you know, so according to Stacy, I quote, I decided to resolve this matter amicably on the terms that I have some level of control. That's him speaking or giving a statement on this. You know, I hope that, you know, this is safe for him, or, you know, like, cause Diddy, man, Diddy seems like a shady character, but I don't have facts to support it, you know, from what I've heard from people. You know, like, where the smoke there's fire, where you hear a lot of things about people, about, you know, I'm like, a lot of these people can't say the same. And I've noticed how celebrities have been so quiet up since this Diddy case. A lot of people have been quiet. They don't want to talk on it. I don't know what the reason is as well. And I've seen people saying, why is anyone not saying anything about Diddy's case? Why is it not surprising? And I'm like, hey, I guess they do. People do know Diddy is dangerous, and they wouldn't take a chance on, you know, saying anything about him, given the character he is, or the person he is, you know. I've watched Diddy and I've admired him for the business and the relationship he's had, and over the years I've learned to admire his inspiration. I think his mentor, for some of you, was one of his mentor is Ray Dalio. I think you might know him. You must just Google Ray Dalio, and he was having a basic interview with him. They were talking, and I really. So yeah, let's talk about the Lorch, Thembinkosi Lorch. You know, so Thembinkosi Lorch, you remember he was supposed to serve a 5-year sentence in jail, but that sentence was suspended, and he was fined something. He was fined for sure, I'm sure, but he was fined 100k fine, and 50k he's set to pay on Tuesday, and 10k he's supposed to pay each and every month for 5 months. I think, yeah, we break it down to 5 months, so he'll pay that. And I want us to talk a bit about GBV when we come back, and using this scenario Yagan Lorch to talk about, or at that scenario Lorch, about the GBV that's going on in the country, and how we are not using all these celebrities to make example for the masses. But Lorch is a figure, and he's a big figure. We have to make a clear example with him, using him. I love him, amazing soccer player, but, you know, some things we need to set examples, and he was a right person to set an example by, you know, just to shake the people who are committing all these, you know, gender-based violence. I think But again, it is what it is. The judges so fit Uti Bamu paid the suspension in 5 years and the 100K fine. Who am I to say otherwise? And Zonzo, talking about Zonzo and Babalo, you might know him from TikTok. He's very famous on TikTok. He had something with Botando. There's a girl by the name of Tando on TikTok. There's a lot that's going on around there. And Zonzo Makati's boyfriend as well. He's Makati's boyfriend. He's dating the 16-year-old. Passed away. Pastor is also dating a young girl. And I think, man, let's talk about this, man. Like, what do you think? You let me know in the comment section. So the book of the day, for those of you who just joined us, what do you think the book of the day is? I think on my side, I'm still giving it to Jordan Peterson. I think I'm still giving it to Jordan Peterson. Do you want to guess the book? I think the book, I'll just give it to you. So the book is Beyond Order by Jordan Peterson. It was released 2021, March the 2nd. The book has something here. It has 432 pages. And how it was a ranking on Google Books, it's a ranking 94% of people liked the book. And on Goodreads, it was a ranking 4.2 out of 5. So overall, it's a good book, I think. I mean, I did say I'm a true fan of Jordan Peterson. So yeah, so the song of the day is Thembinkosi by Young Stunna and Deeper Feel featuring Mfundo, the DJ, and currently on Spotify it's sitting on 1.6 million. Do have a lovely day. I'm your host, Lesego M, Daddy Report, aka Shoot Your Shot, and maybe you might get a chance to call me Daddy like Kyle. Let's meet tomorrow on another exciting episode. Cheers.